Clock clow.
Cacao.
Cacao.
Look up here.
Look up here. Look up here. Look up here. All right. It's been a while since we've done this.
I know.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the Half Hour Happy Hour with Alison and Alex. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Alison Haislip, and for about the next 30-ish minutes, we are going to sip some booze and spit some news.
That is right, and we will be spitting that news directly in the handsome visage of Tom Super Volcano Krajewski.
Do you have trouble getting that
I was like, I don't think any of that is
Well, because I was going to say, like,
words.
faceage, and I was like, that's not a word. And then I was like, visage is a word, so I was like, visage.
Ah!
And it didn't work.
So when people ask me what the podcast is, I'm like, give them like this brief explanation, and I'm like, our tagline is like, we sip some booze and spit some news, and they're like, oh, so you talk about news, and I'm like, no. News is a suggestion, just like the 30 minutes part.
Yeah.
We tell ourselves it's news.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's all
yeah,
just
yeah.
garbage.
Yeah, it's basically garbage.
Speaking of booze, we're sipping some more of the great, what is this?
Yeah, this is
Duckfoot.
Duckfoot.
Yeah.
From Big Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Crafted to reduce
fantastic.
gluten.
What's the one we're drinking? What's that called?
Really good.
Mango and pine hop aroma. Oh, this is
Duckzilla.
Duckzilla.
Yeah.
Duckzilla, yeah. Double white IPA.
I'm drinking
8.6%.
the Contender West Coast Style IPA.
The
Hey,
Contender.
This guy's a contender over here.
Contender.
Hey, he's got a robot face.
Oh, they got a robot face.
Everybody's got robot faces.
Oh, you got a robot face.
You got
a robot face.
You got a robot face.
Why are we like New York Oprah? What just happened?
Because
New
it
York
sounds
Oprah.
cooler than our regular
Hey,
ones.
you got a robot
Hey, I'm
face.
blocking here, robot face.
Hey,
but you
shut your
got
mouth,
one.
robot face.
You guys,
Shut your robot mouth face.
what has happened to this episode already?
I'm
I think it's
hungover,
fun.
so I'm a little out of it.
Aw, Tom.
Well, in a good way. I had a good
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Now I'm just drinking more.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I haven't done really anything much with my life.
You've been busy. That's why.
I've been busy, but not. It's like not. Although,
Yeah. What?
the World of Warcraft expansion's coming out,
Sheesh.
guys. Very excited about
I
it.
kind of love that you're in your 40s and like this is still very exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, the good news is I'm still
proud of it.
I still host BlizzCon for Blizzard.
Oh, right,
Entertainment, so
right,
at
right.
the very
So, yeah.
least, I can just stop every once in a while and be like, "Oh, it's for work.
It's for work.
It's for
I
work.
know. It really is. It's all for work.
It's all for work."
It's all for the love of the game.
the expansion drops on my birthday on August 14th.
Birthday's coming up.
Your birthday's coming up, and I'm going to be here for it. Have a party.
What
so
are we
I can
doing?
finally come.
I'm
Grill us
not
meat.
doing that.
What do
My
you
parents
mean?
are in town. I'm going to dinner
God
with my
damn it,
parents.
Alex! Why
We
can't
can
you
come.
ever?
We can come.
Just
Allison and I are going to crash
Just
anyways.
plan your life around mine.
That's what I do. And it works out pretty well.
Yeah, look how happy Tom is planning his life around yours. So great.
You're not going to have a party or anything?
No, I mean, no.
Can we take you to the restaurant we were talking about before the show and get you something? That's what we're going to do.
Yes.
Okay.
All right,
I will
Tom, we're taking
allow
Alex
that
out to
happen.
dinner.
Hell
All right,
yeah.
there we go.
I will allow that to happen.
Oh, good. I'm so excited because I've missed all of your birthdays.
That is true.
Yeah.
No.
You made...
Wait,
I didn't
yeah.
do
what-
anything this year,
Did
did
you
I?
not do anything this
I
year?
don't remember. You made my 40th last year.
I made
which
your
is good.
40th.
Yeah,
No,
that's
I meant
true.
I missed all of Alex's
Oh, okay,
birthdays.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. You haven't been to any of
No,
them.
I know. I hate that.
Dumb.
I hate
Some
that.
friend
I'm the worst.
came to mind and not yours.
I'm the worst.
That's how much Allison likes me, man.
Shh, I hate it. You had street tacos on yours, right? The griddle street
Oh, that
tacos.
was
Oh,
so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That was so good.
Wicked smart.
Yeah, I want to do that,
I
but
do.
it's just been so hot. It's hard to get like motivated to be like, I'm going to stand in front of a hot griddle and griddle.
Yeah.
on
I
this
didn't
heat.
do it. I had somebody else do
No,
it.
I know, but that's why I
That's
bought my griddle.
understandable. Totally understandable. Yes.
You were just in New York,
I was just in New York.
and you were just in Vegas.
New
I
York,
was just
New York.
in Vegas.
Yeah,
I was.
You
I'm
had
in
like
all the places.
gigs.
Yeah, so I was in
Paying
Vegas
jobs.
very briefly because there's this sweet new Switch and Steam game that came out called Sleep Tight. It's very Minecraft-esque in the sense that you are a little kid and you spend the days building up your pillow forts and replenishing your Nerf ammo, and then
so
you spend
smart.
nights fighting off the monsters.
So Alex and I can stop doing that in real life.
Yeah.
And do it on a video
in
game.
the game, yeah.
That's
so,
right.
That's all Alex
So
and I
you
do
don't
all
have to
day.
come over here to build pillow forts and shoot Nerf guns.
Right, so the
Creep
game
your wife out.
launched.
Doing that.
The game launched last week, a week and a half ago. I'm confused on times right now, but whatever. You can now get it, and I went out to Vegas because they had this fun like slumber party launch thing. Because I am the voice of one of the characters, Brooke, who's the second
Fun.
character you can unlock.
You
in the
sound
game.
like a Brooke. That's great.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so that was really good.
That's
and then
cool.
I flew to New York because Sony has just announced
Yeah.
their new line of television, which these things are fucking sweet.
Well, it's
Oh
funny
my God.
because
Did you look them up?
Well, no, I was reading about it. I'm a Sony TV nut.
I
Like, all
have a
my
Sony TV as
TVs
well.
Are Sonys, yeah. But when I heard about the Netflix calibrated mode or whatever
Yes.
it is,
So they're calling this.
No, I know.
It's still their Bravia line of televisions, but they're calling this the Master Series, and there's two different ones. There's the AF9 and the ZF9. I think I'm getting those right. And one's in
OLED and one's LED.
And LED,
Yeah.
correct. But they are so in the film industry.
Yeah.
The vast majority of editing bays and that do all the color correction and everything use these 30-inch Sony monitors.
Yeah.
Like almost every studio uses these, right?
Okay.
But these 30-inch monitors are something like $30,000.
Yeah, because it essentially allows you to be the color correction of the monitor itself.
Yes.
Like the calibration you can do makes it look exactly like film so that you can do color correct.
Right. So these TVs are basically as close as you can get to that $30,000 monitor, but being home accessible.
Wow. Yeah.
Right?
Cool.
And so Sony's in the unique position where they're one of the few companies that you can literally shoot an entire project and they call it lens to living room because you can do an entire project on Sony products.
Oh,
so
yeah.
shoot it on a Sony camera, edit it on a Sony, and then
computer.
watch it on a Sony TV.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're able to control the quality
Yeah.
in the entire project. So they've partnered up with Netflix to do this Netflix calibrated mode. So you just flip as soon as you turn on Netflix, you flip a setting on your TV, and it has all the information to know exactly how this particular Netflix show was shot, and it will give you the exact right way. They call it the creator's intent.
Yeah.
You get to see the creator's intent.
And by the way,
Yeah.
all of this is the thing that makes this even doubly amazing is that up until now, the TV manufacturers have actually been doing a disservice to the filmmakers' intents because they kept chasing this megahertz, this refresh rate, which was just an arms race to get people to buy a new TV.
Right.
But it was actually doing a disservice to what people want because the higher the refresh rate, the less it looks like.
You lose a lot of quality.
Yeah. And all the filmmakers have come out and said, fuck this motion flow.
Yeah.
Fuck this stuff.
It's the worst.
But so the fact that Sony is now not only saying maybe not motion flow on these, but then to say we're partnering with the companies that are the filmmakers that make it to show it the way they want you to consume it.
Right. So there is. I just want to be clear. There is. It's not called motion flow.
Cinemagic or whatever.
No,
the fuck
I forget. I should know this. I just did the press release, but
You should know this.
I know I've had beer, but they have a version of that.
Sure.
But even seeing like the two things next to each other, they're like, this is what it looks like on old TVs, and this is what it looks like on new. You're like, holy shit, that's way clearer.
Yeah. Well, and also they have the new stuff. Is a lot of the stuff is being shot with the HDR, the high dynamic range.
Right, exactly, and that's also a Sony
gorgeous.
camera.
Yeah.
You know, so it was really fascinating. It's funny because I got hired for this job. Basically, they did this massive press release at Sony Hall in Times Square in New York, and I got hired to do this job, but all I knew about the job to begin with was that I was going to moderate a panel.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was
all
for
you
Sony
know.
and Netflix, and I had no clue.
Amazing.
You could have held a gun to my head, and I could have been like, I don't. It could be about cameras. It could be about movies. I have no idea until like literally 24 hours before rehearsal. I had a rehearsal day, and one of the guys from Sony calls me up, and we're chatting. He's like, "So, do you even know what this is about?" I'm like, "I got nothing. I
It's a
got
panel,
nothing."
right?
He's like,
That's
"Oh,
all.
TVs," and I was like, "Okay, great. Let's go from there."
Cool.
Yeah.
Great perspective. Well, the other thing that I think was really funny was it was the showrunner from
Lost in Space. Yeah.
who I believe
Zac
was
Efron, yeah.
on stage when we showed up because I think they were the people
What do you mean when we showed up? When
at
we
the
showed up
Nerdist
where?
house.
Oh, at Comic
The
Con.
people on stage, he was one of them.
At Comic Con?
That
Yeah,
explains-
because
Oh
they
my
were talking
gosh.
about Lost in Space.
No, he wasn't at this year's Comic Con because we chatted about that.
Oh,
So
well,
it
one of
wasn't
them-
him.
was a-
So it might have
was
been
one of
Lost
the
in Space
writers.
people, but yeah.
No, it was like one of the writers, but it was so funny because I was like,
by the way,
showrunner, what's there?
he's hilarious. Like he and I met, and we were like, like just when you meet like a kindred spirit, and we were like, yeah, what's up? Blah, blah. It was great.
flows.
Yeah. It was great. It was a
not-
super fun time.
He's not funnier than Alex.
No
Well,
one's
no
funnier
one's
than
funnier.
Alex.
Thank you, everybody.
I'm sorry.
Looking out for you, Alex.
Yeah. Well, Alejandro.
Funny.
It goes
Funny
you,
looking.
Jerry.
you the Jerry.
He's getting
I'll
close,
take it.
though.
I'll take it.
He's just louder than you are. But anyway.
You get the two of us drinking. It's basically like two
We
cats in
know,
a bag.
Alex. We know.
Oh right, yeah. As you all know from the show, once we get drinking, it gets a bit crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, these TVs are rad.
So when do they come out? I mean,
I don't
I'm always
know.
up for
Price
buying.
wise.
They don't, and I don't have a price. I literally,
Can you get us a good deal? That's the next question.
dude, I was like, so can you put me on the list that like gets just one of these TVs sent to me when they come out?
Yeah.
I'm in the market for a new television right
Always.
now. Yeah, exactly. I mean, my Sony's probably like 5 years old now, so it's like I am
Mine's
due.
10.
We just bought
yeah.
one. Oh, dude.
LG. It's still awesome.
We
though.
just bought one relatively recently. I
I
think
remember when
probably
you
like
got it.
2 years
Yeah.
ago, maybe. It's a 65-inch Brevia.
That's gorgeous.
4K. Oh, dude. It's
I think it's Bravia, not Brevia.
Bravia.
well, Brevia is when you say it really quick.
Oh, okay. When you abbreviate it.
No, I love, dude. I had my first Sony was in 2004. I bought one of the rear
I think
projection
that might have been
DLP ones.
because I think the Bravia line started in 2005.
Yeah. It was one of the ones that was like, it was like DLP projection technology. Remember that? Like back in the day, where it was
I
like,
do.
I still want to get set up a proper like screening room movie theater thing. I just can't.
Well, this is what these TVs are made for.
I'll
People
help
who
you.
want to do home theaters.
Yeah.
They're insane.
And they're like super thin, so you can
They're
hang them.
super thin. And what's really cool is the A9F.
That's the OLED one.
The
A
OLED
ones are the
right.
OLED.
The OLED one is the one. Let me get this right. The OLED one's the one that doesn't need the technology behind the screen. I think that sounds right. I think the LEDs have
So
the
it's
tech.
even more thin.
Well,
because
it's
the tech's off
because
to the
they don't
side.
need the tech behind the screen.
Yeah.
They are able, in terms of the audio, the screen becomes a center speaker.
Ooh.
So like a movie theater,
Yeah.
where the sound comes straight through the screen.
Yeah.
This screen has the capability to do that.
Wow.
And they they give me these demos. I got to see all these demos before I did the panel.
Yeah.
And basically what this TV gives you is all the stuff you didn't know you wanted.
Right,
Like
yeah.
up to the everything has seemed fine before this, and you're like, everything's great, the sound's amazing, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then you see
Picture
the sound
looks
through
fine.
and then you
Yeah.
see the sound through this, and you're like, never mind.
Yeah.
I can never watch TV the same way again because normally if you have a home theater set up with all the speakers and everything, your center speaker is either right below
Yep,
or right above your screen.
Yep.
And if you switch it to being behind the screen,
Yeah.
when you flip it back and forth, like
Is it super apparent?
it's because all of a sudden people's voices are coming out from below their face.
Right. Yeah.
you're watching
I
it.
was wondering that because
Yes.
we have the home theater set up at home, which I love the
Yeah.
surround sound. But
Yeah. No, so
Yeah.
they make screen projector projector screens that are what they call like audio neutral or something like that.
Oh.
So essentially you can put a speaker behind certain screens
That won't, like,
and the audio will
vibrate it.
come
Yeah.
through it.
Right.
But you have to buy very expensive screens.
Because otherwise it would
Because otherwise
sound
it's just
would
like
screw it up.
putting
Yeah.
it behind something that's like
don't tell my wife that.
Yeah.
She's going to go get all that now.
yeah.
She's the one that put it in the home theater. She bought it. I had to put it together.
Yeah, but I mean, like honestly, this is one of those TVs. Like even if you don't do like all the crazy speakers and all that
Yeah.
stuff, the TV itself has 3.2 surround or not surround 3.2, a 3.2 setup.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
so like you can have just the TV and it sounds ridiculously awesome.
Oh, see, I need to get new stuff.
Yeah.
No, you
problem.
don't.
This is the problem with
So
stuff.
I have
I
a
want new stuff.
Yeah,
this old stuff's got to go. I'm going to burn it.
yeah. I
If
mean,
I burn it,
Tesla.
then I need to buy it.
I'm hoping by the end of this
Fair.
year these TVs will be accessible,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure.
I want one.
Yeah.
I need. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
need
but
a
it
new-
was like such a cool gig, and I was like, oh, I'm geeking out over tech. Like I don't,
Yeah.
I don't do as much with tech anymore since I haven't been on G4. So,
Yeah.
and I forget that I get actually like really excited about it.
Yeah, well, tech's cool, man. There's
No.
also like so much fun stuff about like. I just that's the big thing is like I really want to get. Well, when we went to the Alienware
yeah,
thing
that
at
was
CES
awesome.
and saw that short throw 4K projector
Yeah.
was $7
Amazing.
grand, I was like, I could get a short throw projector.
You could get two of them.
Man,
One for the bedroom.
I could do that
Yeah.
so much.
I could just short throw it onto a wall.
Yeah, it's super
Be like watching it.
I like it when I short throw stuff.
Yeah.
It's not as cool as a long throw.
Yeah.
It's okay. Short.
All right, shall we get into
Let's do
EMLs?
Some emails?
Give me a good email.
This is cute.
Me.
Give me a good email.
Give me a good.
Me.
Alex could.
Hashtag squad goals.
Hashtag squad goals.
Hey there, have our happy hour. Steph here.
Hi, Steph.
Hi, Alison.
Hey.
I am new to the podcast since seeing/meeting you guys at the Comic-Con live stream.
Yes!
way.
This
Wait,
will
I
all
feel
make
like I
sense.
remember her.
You will.
Yeah,
It will all
totally.
make sense. Hashtag squad goals. And I've been catching up on episodes since my boyfriend has been a fan for a long time.
Tom's like, I don't have a chance.
No. But I'm super new to the podcast and don't listen to many podcasts. I figured, why not go?
Yeah.
Because it was at the Nerdist house.
Yeah.
And I thought, if nothing else, that's cool.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I was super stoked to see a very familiar face on stage.
Oh, was it Jonathan?
If you couldn't hear me before the podcast started, I completely fangirled out when I saw Alison on stage.
Me!
And caused people to stare and laugh at me, loudly repeating, "Holy shit, that's Alison Haislip."
It was holy shit, Alison Haislip.
Yeah, for longer than I should have. Granted,
Yeah.
I was a bit inebriated. The reaction would still have just been the same.
I was too.
We all were. It was
We've
great.
been drinking since noon.
So I wanted to take a second to express my appreciation for you, Alison,
Aw, thanks.
and your
That's
former
sweet.
G4 mates.
Aw.
My love for G4 fam is fully developmental. I was in my early 20s when I would watch Kevin, Olivia, Allison, and Blair every single day on
Yeah.
AOTS.
Oh my god.
Most of the days, it was the highlight of my day, watching you all over the years. This is actually really interesting. You also helped me accept parts of me that would consistently being attacked and scrutinized, even just a short 10 years ago. Probably nerd culture. So where she was,
Oh, I see.
her
I see.
love
Got
of
it.
nerdy
It's,
things.
for some reason, it sounded like a virus, and I was like, "How did I help a virus?" Like parts
She's-
getting attacked.
Yeah, she's
Got it. I
really
just-
happy
yeah.
that you were able to
Oh.
cure her of her horrible virus disease.
I'm glad it wasn't that, but I'm also glad I helped you in the other ways.
Exactly.
too.
It was amazing to see you all kick so much ass doing exactly what you love. I truly feel like you guys helped me break the negative stigma and judgment towards being proud of your nerdiness.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Way to
Yeah.
go, Steph.
Also, fuck all those people.
Yeah.
Well, now it's pop
anyway,
culture, so
I know. Now it's like, really?
Yeah.
You don't like Marvel? You suck a bag of dicks.
Right.
I thought I would share some. I mean, unless you're a DC person, and that's fine.
Okay, yeah,
you
that's
could
cool.
you
That's
just
cool.
put the
No,
bag
no, no.
aside.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought I would share something with you guys and your fans.
Yeah.
If you don't remember, which I do totally remember, I mentioned being a part of a running social club that goes to Disneyland a lot.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Remember the
Yes.
Disneyland? Yeah.
Totally.
We're a bunch of nerds who live for Disney, all things pirates, and staying active and healthy most days. We're located in Southern California, but we have a Disney World branch too. Florida, for those of you not paying attention. If anyone is interested in learning more about us, check us out on Instagram. They are called the Rum Runners. Remember this?
Oh yeah, rum
So
the
it's-
drink.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's at Rum Runners, but it's rum with a V instead of a U, runners with a V instead of a U, and it's R. I'm just going to read it out loud.
Yeah,
'cause it's
okay.
like- and it actually says, you're probably going to have to spell it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
At RVMRVNNXRS.
Easy to
I got it.
remember.
I got it. I can visualize that.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Anyway, thanks a lot. I suffered laughs quite a lot in my office, guys. Thank you forever. New fan, Steph from Anaheim.
Steph.
Yay, Steph from Anaheim. Steph.
Let's go running with
That's rad.
Steph. Let's try running with her at Disneyland.
I would
because
love
I
to
would
do
die
that.
probably within like
I would die
2
a
minutes.
thousand deaths, but I would
100%.
Alison's
love
probably
to
the
do
most
it.
in shape of the
Yeah,
three of
but I
us.
still would be like, I'd probably get half a mile, and then I'd be like, "See you guys at the bar."
See you at the
Well,
Right.
Enchanted
Is there a
Tiki
bar?
room.
At the-
Do you
in
remember?
Disney?
Do you remember the Legoland fun thing? With
Oh my
the
god, I
Course of the
loved
Force?
it. Yes, Legoland was the best.
So we did. So Alice and I were doing Course of the Force for Nerdist many years ago.
know.
Weirdly,
God.
probably pre this show.
We've been.
It was.
Oh,
pre
it was
this
definitely
show.
pre this show.
100%.
It was probably like 2012 or 13.
Maybe.
2012 or 13.
But one of the things that happened was we actually went and got connected with a bunch of Make-A-Wish kids at Legoland prior to them opening Legoland. So we got to run around.
He means that day,
Yeah, no, I
not
get it.
like.
Yeah.
You made
Not
it sound like the grand
Yeah,
opening
no,
of
no, no.
Legoland.
No,
Like,
but it was like literally we just got
Yeah,
to
we
hang
got there
around.
at like 9 a.m. and the
Park opened at, like,
10 or
10.
whatever. Yeah.
And so we got to literally like run
That's
around
cool.
Legoland,
Yeah.
semi-unsupervised. But it was
Yeah.
super fun because we got to go like meet the like Lego expert master builders and
Yeah.
stuff, and
That's
I
cool.
love Legoland.
it's fun.
It is real fun. I feel like I've talked about this on the show before, but I went on one of the most ridiculous amusement park rides of my life at Legoland.
Okay.
It has something. It's dragon themed. I know it's in their like medieval times section or whatever it is, and it's over water. You don't get wet, but it's over water, and it's these two just picture like two seats next to each other, like almost like roller coaster seats where you get strapped in from above, like that huge thing comes down, and you choose your difficulty. Like you can choose 1 or you can choose 5. And I was like,
really?
I mean, yeah. And Legoland's like a kids park, so I'm like, I can do 5, right?
Expert level.
And you sit in the chairs, like you and your friend, or you're right side by side, and it's a standalone thing. It's basically like picture a arm coming straight out of the water, and then your hand bends forward.
Yep.
And then the 2 chairs are like in your fingers, right? And then,
so it's a claw hand out of the water.
Yeah. And so
now I got it.
Right. So you sit in the chair, the straps come, giant shoulder bars come down.
In your giant.
And then the platform that you were on pulls away, so you're just hovered over the water.
Nice.
And then the ride just like, literally just take your hand and just like whip it around. Like
amazing.
Keep your forearm straight and just whip your hand around in whatever direction it can go, and that's the ride. And you're just like, I'm forward, I'm backwards, I'm upside down, I'm twisting. You're like, what the hell is happening?
I paid for this.
That's the entire ride.
I chose this.
It's so insane. I was just laughing the whole time because I couldn't function. I was like, what is happening?
Oh my God.
It's so fun. You don't travel. You just get like thrown around.
It's literally just a mixer.
Yeah, I was going to say, the magic bullet.
Yeah. You just put yourself in a magic bullet and hit the button.
It's insane.
It's really funny when you like go on a ride where like your whole body changes, like there's like chemicals in your brain that just turn off. Yeah. So we were in Vegas for Dignation many years ago.
Yes, many.
And we went up to the top of the Stratosphere. And they have a couple rides at the top of the Stratosphere.
I've never been.
But one of the things that they have, or had at the time, I don't know if they still have it, but it's a little bit like this. So essentially what it is like, if you think about like your hand or like one of those zingers that you put on your head that like gives you that
scratches your head.
Scratches your head.
Yeah.
So it looks like it looks like the smoke monster from Stranger Things 2. So, but each of the little legs is
like a little car.
2 people facing inwards.
Oh,
so
facing each other.
Facing each other. So it's like a bloomin' onion.
Okay.
Upside down, and you're looking in, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, this is cool." So the arm, like where your elbow is connected to the stratosphere.
Okay. Oh, does it like whip around the stratosphere?
So what happens is, so Kevin and I went. We get into this thing, and what happens is the arm swings you out over the parking
Vegas?
lot,
So
and
you're
that's way high up. You're on the top
way
of the
high up
stratosphere.
the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And then the hand starts rotating. The bloomin' onion starts rotating. And so we're rotating, and we're like, okay, I see what this is.
Does it become like a gyroscope?
And then it starts opening its fingers up.
Oh my gosh, so you face down?
You are facing straight down.
No! Oh God, I'm
spinning around.
No!
Over a parking lot from the top of the stratosphere.
I would lose
nice view,
my
though.
shit.
And your whole, like,
probably like literally.
Because all of those chest things, you think like, well, that's just in case something happens and it's bad. You're laying on top of it, like, please don't open, please don't open.
Oh my God!
And we start spinning, and I'm just like, my brain like turns off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't even know. And then all of a sudden, fucking Kevin, who's sitting next to me, just starts going, "This is what it's about. This is it. This is what life's about, man.
What?
This is it.
Did he smoke a big fat?
No, it like melted his brain into this like weird.
Really?
Because I was just like screaming my ass off, and he was like, "This is it. This is what it's about. This is fucking life,
Who was this?
man."
Who was it?
My buddy
just
Kevin.
like talking.
Oh.
Yeah, Kevin Rose. He's just like talking himself through it. It's like, have you seen those videos? I will never do this ride, but those videos of people getting like the giant slingshot.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
And there's one.
No.
Oh,
It's a
I
man
love
and
it.
a woman, and it's one where they get shot, and the woman's like the biggest
laughing.
smile on her face. She's laughing, she's screaming, and the guy literally passes out.
Oh yeah, and he
He's
keeps
like,
passing out and waking up. Yeah.
That would be me.
Those are my favorite ones because they crank you down into that like hole,
And then they like,
and then they go 3, 2, and they hit the button, and it's like, no, what's the
oh yeah.
That's like when you do the bungee jump and they have like the spare bungee
I will
cords
never
and they
bungee
just
jump.
throw the bungee jump,
Shoot.
throw the bungee cords, like pieces of a bungee cord, and they're like, oh go. And they throw it. It's just like, that's so fucked up.
I have anxiety just talking about rides like that. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah, we did the bungee jumping stuff, and it's
Where did you bungee jump? I didn't know you bungee jumped.
here. We actually did it for Halo. It was like a Halo branded thing.
Cool.
So they sponsored TRS back in the day, and we were like, what can we do? What can we do? Like, and then I think it was probably Jeff was like, wait, it's bungee. What if we go bungee jumping? And we were like, all right. So there's a place in the Angeles National Forest.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is like a bridge to nowhere. Like it was one of those things where it was a bridge that they stopped. Like they were constructing a road to hit a mountain, and then they were going through the mountain, and then they ran out of money.
And
so it's literally a bridge that just ends at a mountain.
Oh, okay. So it's at least not like it doesn't end.
Yeah, it doesn't end at a cliff. Yeah. It's like it runs into a mountain and there's no
tunnel.
It's like Wile E. Coyote tunnel.
Buckaroo Banzai could get through that wall.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's it.
In his DeLorean? Was it a DeLorean? What was
Buckaroo
his?
Banzai?
His car?
No, he had some, I don't know, space car.
Anyway,
Space
car. But when we first did the jump, it was like, because I was like, I didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean?
No.
No.
And they say jump as far forward as you can. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm cool.
I'm a
ready.
jumper. I jump all the time.
I can jump all the time. My legs did not work because my brain went jump, and then my legs were like fuck off.
Yeah.
Survival.
And so literally,
What'd you do?
It was just like this. It was like like my legs extended, but I did not get any connection, and then I just fell forward.
Oh my gosh!
And obviously, not the first person to do that. It was like, because literally your brain is like, okay, jump,
Wow.
and then you send the connection to the legs, and the legs are like,
No.
nope,
No.
that's bad, and so I just went, bruh, and I fell.
It's like when you walk too close to the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
You're like, I understand that there's still 3 feet in front of me, and they're not going to just collapse from under me, but your legs
Your
just
whole
stop.
body is like.
You feel like you have to get on the ground and belly crawl forward to see over the edge.
Because the funny thing is you're like, don't fall, and then your legs just turn to fucking jello.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? Legs? What? You were perfectly fine an hour ago when we were walking on the street.
Yeah.
What is going on with you, legs?
Yeah.
But the other thing was, as soon as I left the bridge, I went, oh.
I should have jumped.
No. The sensation is falling to your death.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
Because you don't feel anything.
You feel nothing. There's
that's
no
why
restraint.
I said,
there's no nothing. It literally is, this is what it feels like. And then at the very, very end, oh, good, there's a bungee cord. Like, literally, that is the experience of bungee jumping.
I will do neither of these things in my lifetime, but if I was to choose one over the other, I would skydive before I bungee jump.
Really?
Because at least when you skydive, it doesn't feel like falling.
Yeah, because the perspective is so far away.
Yes.
It's like,
You feel like you're flying.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. That feeling of falling and bungee jumping that I can't.
Oh, dude.
Blah.
Okay. I can tell you right now, it feels like you're fucking
Blah.
falling.
I don't even like cliff diving. If like off a 6-foot cliff, I'm like, nope.
Yeah.
should we go skydiving?
No.
Oh, I thought you just said you do skydiving.
No, she said,
No,
I don't
I
want
said
to do
if
either.
I had to choose
I was
one.
forced.
Well, I'm asking you to choose. We're all going to go. Alex and I are going.
No.
Done.
Fine. You guys go. I will sit.
No, we're going to do a show. We're going to do a show live while
in
we're
the air.
dropping. Yeah.
I'll be the one on the ground drinking
We're going to
the
be
whiskey.
holding on to like a weird circular bar with 3 microphones.
It's just me going, ah!
Yeah, we're like, hey, it's interesting comment, Alison. You sort of said that about the last story. Anyway, speaking of stories.
Any more emails?
Yeah, I want to do one more.
Yeah,
Do one
do
more.
email.
Because I totally forgot that this was in last week's episode, which is fun.
Okay.
Hey, 4-H crew.
Hi.
Jesse here.
Hi, Jesse.
Hi, Allison. People are on their Hi, Allison game this week.
I like it.
I like
I get really sad when it doesn't happen.
I usually listen to my favorite podcast, Half Hour Happy Hour with Allison and Alex.
Yay.
And Tom.
And Tom.
What's happening?
Just
You just
licked
banged
my
yourself.
mic.
It's all good. While driving on my daily commute, during the Electro Spider edition,
Oh, yeah.
I was laughing so hard during Alex's skull cracking bit, which I totally forgot.
Why?
I cracked
was
your skull. Why are you cracking my
hilarious.
skull? That I almost got into an accident.
Oh, no.
Luckily, I was able to dry my eyes in time to see the car in front of me slam on their brakes.
Oh, Jesus.
I would like to
goodness,
ask you a
Jesse.
question.
Yeah.
I like to ask people.
Okay.
If you had to choose one animal whose meat is the only meat you could eat for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
what would it be? Now,
Oh, there's
you can eat
caveats.
all the vegetables, etc., but here are a few examples just to help you out.
Okay.
Okay.
With beef, you get steaks, burgers, cheese, milk.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
Anything that comes
Anything
from
that
the
comes from
animal.
that.
Wait
Two.
for it. Pork, you get ribs, sausage, bacon.
Bacon.
I know.
Ow.
And with chicken, you get everything, including eggs. I know that's going to be easy
Nope.
for you.
Allison hates the eggs.
P.S. It was nice meeting you guys at CES. Oh, Jesse was one of the guys at CES. Again.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
So good meeting you.
Yeah.
Glad you survived.
Yeah, yeah.
I am 100%
Thank you for
beef.
remind me.
I'm 100% cow.
Okay.
That's my vote. Cow.
Okay.
Muppet.
No, what?
Interesting.
Aren't those
Muppet?
kind of animals?
Sure.
Muppets.
Sure.
Don't you eat
I
like
don't know about
No.
the cheese that comes from Muppet milk, but
Yeah.
that could be a little.
You want like blue
Stringy.
meat?
Sure.
You're weird.
I'm sick of red meat. No, I'd go with cow.
Yeah.
Definitely cow.
I know
Yeah.
that's the hard
Wait.
thing. It's like
No.
What?
Maybe cow.
bacon's
Sorry, I'm
good,
not a
like,
bacon
and then you're like
fan.
never have bacon again.
I
Like,
could never have bacon again, but I could never have cheese again.
Yeah, I don't like steaks,
Yeah,
but I like
that's
burgers.
interesting.
So
Oh, I
I need.
love steaks.
See, I'm not a steak guy.
Yeah.
Look, you
Interesting.
guys.
You could choose
Burgers.
goat,
I was just thinking about that because I was like, you get the goat
but would you want
cheese.
goat meat?
Goat meat's good. It's
yeah.
like lamb.
Yeah. Oh, you could use lamb.
Yeah, sheep's milk.
Ooh, I love
Oh
lamb.
yeah.
Yeah, sheep. There's some good cheese that
That's
are sheep's
not a
milk
bad
cheese.
idea.
So you're saying,
Or bison.
bison.
No.
You don't have your answer. You don't
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would say beef just because it's so much more versatile.
versatile.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, not being able to eat
Bacon.
eggs. I mean, I know that you don't like them, but for me, it's like,
I don't even like eggs. I eat the
My
same.
weird
like you
mutation
everyone.
has come to use.
My weird mutation.
now I don't need you, chicken. But also, shrimp. Like, can we
I was
do?
thinking that, like, is fish part of it?
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't get any cheese from fish.
We could
You,
figure
you
out.
only get
Figure
fish.
that
from
out.
Tesla.
Tesla.
Oh, yeah,
maybe
I guess-
would
fish
figure it
Wait,
cheese.
out.
does this mean
Yeah.
I can't eat sushi anymore?
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
But do you have to pick one kind of fish?
No,
Like okay.
fish.
You could just say fish.
Yeah, like you can do
I mean, you get all the
Kobe
fish?
beef. You could do
What do you mean
veal.
you could do Kobe beef? Kobe beef is fucking cow.
No, I know, but like that's a type of like you could get like a longhorn, like a Texas longhorn cow. is different than
I
a-
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Very
or,
interesting.
or like you could do like
Because
a
I was like,
veal
okay,
or-
I could do fish, and then you're like, yeah, you can get Kobe beef. I was like, you wouldn't get
no,
that
I
from
mean like
fish.
you could have any
Yeah.
species
got
of cow.
Got it. Yes,
Is not a problem.
yes.
Uh,
Bovine.
Any kind of bovine.
I
Good
choose
throwing that word out.
bovine.
So you're doing it.
Yeah, I commit.
So no more, no sushi.
God, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I did live like 20-something years of my life without eating sushi. So
Well, now that we
That's
can
true.
3D print food, we could probably 3D print
can?
some sushi. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be
They
the
do
new
that.
thing. And then
They 3D
10
print, like,
years
fake
later,
meat.
they're gonna find out it's dead people.
soy the
Nice.
greatest people.
the greatest people.
Soy the greatest people.
All right, get to some. Shall we
Let's
get
do-
to some
let's do a
stories?
story.
Let's see what happens.
Let's do a story.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know what this voice
what
is
we
that
got
I'm
here?
doing. It's
All right.
Little Bane.
So I'm gonna ask you something
Right.
about. So you guys remember the Berenstain Bears, the Berenstein Bears,
Berenstein.
the Berenstein Bears, the Berenstain
I
Bears,
I know.
the Berenstain
That's
Bears.
what I had all the time.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, there's another one.
No.
There's another one. So
Okay.
I'm gonna and this.
Like from childhood that is now
Yeah.
fucked up somehow?
Yeah.
Green eggs and ham.
So green eggs in the ham.
Like
you know
that
story
weird
with Corey
sister.
Haim?
Oh, I was thinking that's a band like with 3 sisters, isn't it? Like
Green eggs and
Sounds
ham.
yeah.
Yeah, it's Corey Haim and Corey Feldman.
Oh my god.
So
yes.
people have been focusing on a movie from the 90s.
Oh wait, is this Shazam
It's Shazam.
and
with,
Kazam?
Oh, yes.
with Sinbad.
Yes, and Kazam.
Yeah.
With
Did you have any thought of like the
But-
Shazam Sinbad thing?
right. If you had told me that Sinbad the comedian was in a movie called
Kazam.
Shazam.
Shazam, I would have been like, fuck yeah. And then I read that article and I was like,
Yeah.
no wait, 100% it's Kazam with
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Sinbad. So here's the article. Sinbad stopped fighting the legacy of Shazam, the movie that doesn't exist, because of the X-Files.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So basically, like Sinbad is actually so he in the article was interviewed and he basically said like this just started 5 years ago.
Right.
He's like 5 years ago, people started coming up to me and being like, "Oh my god, I loved you in Shazam!" And he's like, "I don't know what the fuck you're talking
Yeah.
about." And he was like, "But it is now consistent. Like
That's amazing.
Yeah.
people believe I was in a movie
so
in the
crazy.
90s called Shazam."
Which it makes a lot of sense. Like,
It
'cause
makes sense.
Sinbad was in a lot of movies in
Yeah.
the 90s.
Yes, he was.
And,
Yeah.
you feel like you can like
Yeah,
picture
it
that
makes
title.
House Guest.
Yeah.
Some other movie about presidents.
Oh yeah,
Whatever
First
that was.
Kid.
First
and,
Kid.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
right, yeah.
I worked
Here's
at a
the
video
thing.
store, so I know this.
Yeah, but here's
And
the
it's
thing.
far more believable that Sinbad was in a movie as opposed to Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, but
He
then
also-
there was what is that?
Steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman
Uh,
spinoff thing. Yeah.
But so for whatever reason, about 5 years ago, people just started assuming that he was in this movie
weird.
called Shazam.
Yeah.
to the point where people are like adamant that there's some weird reason why he's not admitting that he was in this movie.
That's insane.
Well, yeah. But, people, you just get to this thing.
Yeah.
So it turns out that in the 11th season of X-Files, which I'm assuming is the newest season.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Nobody watches anymore.
Is it?
Because I can't imagine that happened in like 80 or 98. You know what I mean?
Right.
It feels like this is happening now because it's now
Right.
that's happening. So here's the scene between Mulder and Scully, right?
What? Are you playing it for us?
No, I'm just going to read it's like
got it.
4 lines.
Got it.
So Mulder says it's the Mandela effect. Scully says, what do you mean? Mulder, when somebody has a memory of something that is not shared by the majority or the factual record. For instance, there are some people that have a memory of seeing a movie called Shazam starring Sinbad as an irrepressible genie.
Yeah.
Even after it's pointed out that they probably are thinking of a movie called Kazam, starring Shaquille O'Neal as an irrepressible genie.
Yeah.
Especially because a movie called Shazam was never made.
Right. Well,
so Sinbad saw that episode of the X-Files and was like, I now have a thing that I can say. It's the Mandela effect.
Why is it called the Mandela effect? Like Nelson Mandela?
He never existed. We just found out.
What? Jesus
not
Christ.
That would have been amazing.
I know that's not true because he died the day.
I know.
No. I was saying he died the day before I was supposed to fly out for that USO tour that I did in 2013.
Really?
Yeah, and we were supposed to take Air Force 2 during our whole tour, which I was like, that's fucking sweet. But because Nelson Mandela died, they gave Jimmy Carter, former President Jimmy Carter, Air Force 2 so he could go to the funeral, and we got put on a C-17, which is the second largest plane in the world, and so it was very cool to take that, but not nearly as fancy as Air Force 2 would have been.
So the reason why it's called the Mandela effect is people thought that Nelson Mandela had died.
And so then when he actually died. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it says one type of memory glitch is generated a lot of internet buzz in recent years. It's called the Mandela effect. In simple terms, the Mandela effect is an instance of collective misremembering. Examples include the line from famous movies that everyone gets wrong, like Humphrey Bogart saying, "Play it again, Sam."
Right,
which
doesn't
is not
exist.
in the movie.
Right. Actually, my buddy did that the other day. I mean, this is like almost a year ago. But he tweeted something that I caught in the morning. And he said, it was something about, I forget how he phrased it. He's like, I just saw something and it just makes me remember how much I miss Stan Lee, R.I.P. And I was like, what? And I like Googled it. I'm like, did Stan Lee die? I was like, oh my God. And I Googled it all and I texted him. I was like, dude, what happened? Did Stan Lee die? And he's like, yeah, like a few months ago. And I went, what? No, that was his wife. And he was like, oh my God, you're totally right. He just remembered reading the news about Stan Lee's wife passing away. Yeah. And in his brain decided that it was Stan Lee. And I was like, Jesus!
So it says the term Mandela effect was coined by the self-described paranormal consultant Fiona Brome, who has written on her website that she first became aware of the phenomenon after discovering that she shared a particular false memory that South African human rights activist and president Nelson Mandela died in prison during the 1980s.
Oh, yeah.
But it's interesting because like some of the stuff I was like, it makes sense. They said that also apparently a lot of people will answer 52 when asked how many states there are in the United States.
Because 52 pick up 52 cards.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
And then also there's a historical misconception. Are you among the people that recall learning in school that the cotton gin inventor Eli Whitney was black?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, he's not.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Jesus.
I know.
That's really fucking with me right now.
We, like, totally miss?
I know, but this is the thing. This is the Mandela effect.
I actually just learned recently.
We're living in it, baby.
I just learned recently that people who are in comas, actually, when they come out of comas, they have the best memory you can possibly have because
like 100 memory,
right?
They can't do anything.
Because their brains haven't been affected by outside stimuli or something like that.
Really?
So they have the purest memories. Now, as soon as they wake up, that all starts degrading again.
And you're like, hey, what did you think about the race that just won? What? Okay, yeah,
that's insane.
I remember that. Crazy, right? So the other, other thing that, the other thing is that, I mean, they've done a bunch of studies about people, like, memory is not a it like helps us weave a story with facts that we actually remember to make it fill out.
Oh my gosh. I just saw the show. I know we're kind of late. Whatever. This is going to be a long episode. I saw this show in New York when I was there called In and of Itself. It's an off-Broadway show. And it's a magic show, but I hesitate to call it a magic show because it's so much more than that.
Okay.
But it's a one-man show. This guy, Derek... I'm spacing on his last name.
Derek Magic Man.
Derek Magic Man. And by the way, it is closing. Right. It's closing very soon. So if you are in New York or you're going to be in New York soon, look up tickets. This thing is fucking amazing. It's 75 minutes, no intermission. Yep. Like, it's just a straight through show.
It's magic in and of itself.
But the whole concept of the show is about basically kind of making us rethink how we label anything in life. Like seeing that there's so much more than the like words we just apply to people. And I don't want to give too much away, but one of the things that he talks about, which is what we were just kind of discussing, is that ships back, way back in the day, they always had ship's logs. And the point of these ship's logs was to always track the stars so they knew where they were. But if it was cloudy and they couldn't see the stars, they basically had to guess. They were like, they made educated guesses being like, I think this is what's going on right now. And then when the skies would clear up, they would see the stars recourse and fix.
Yep.
But the point is that these logs would tell an entire story of a ship, but would contain both absolute fact and fiction.
Interesting.
Yes, because it was just guessing.
Yeah.
Like our
so
podcast.
he does this thing. He does this thing where he has this quote unquote ship's log of his show that he sends home with a audience member every night.
Wow.
And that audience member comes back the next show, and they take the day to write. So basically the audience member who gets chosen does not see the end of the show. So they write what they have seen up to that point, and then they write what they guess happens at the end of the show.
That's interesting.
And so every single show, the person actually comes back.
Wow.
And so it's this huge book, and he's like, it's a ship's log. It's of the entire show, but it's of stuff that has definitely happened and stuff that they believe have happened. And it's the coolest fucking thing. Wow. And all I can say is, if you go to the show, if you get the chance to go to the show, at the end of the show, the very end, he gives everyone in the audience an opportunity to stand up and be a part of something if they want to. Absolutely stand up. 100%.
Okay.
Stand up. You don't have to say anything. Just stand up and you'll be a part of one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Oh my God.
Does he pull a rabbit out of a hat? Is that what that is?
No.
Does he pull a rabbit
No
out of his
magic like
butt?
that. No.
He's like, rabbit.
There's a whole card trick
So
section.
glad I stood up for that.
There's a whole card trick section where you're like, what is happening? Like, it's insane. And it's just, it's and it's a show where the audience is basically silent, like dead silence the entire time because you are so invested in this show.
In and of
I
itself.
think it closes in a few weeks.
Alex,
so
let's go.
Absolutely go.
Yeah.
I might go to New York in 2 weeks. So
It's really
let's go.
neat. It's really
do
neat.
it.
But
Go,
anyway, it's
and
like
then I'll go.
Mandela effect or whatever.
Go with me.
Also, I've kind of been like chuckling in the back of my head during this whole story because there is a movie called Shazam coming out in February starring our friend Zach
Yeah,
Levi.
Levi, looking
And
good.
I'm like, is this going to fuck up the Mandela effect of Shazam and Kazam?
People will be like, yeah, you remember seeing that movie in the 90s, Shazam?
God,
with
you know
Zach
what they
Levi?
should-
What?
You know what would have been fucking
Sinbad
genius?
played the superhero.
If Sinbad was in it?
If Sinbad was in Shazam.
Yeah,
Oh my
that
God.
would've
I
been
actually
crazy.
know the guy who's the producer of this film. I might text him and be like, listen, do a quick reshoot and just throw Shazam or throw Sinbad in there
That
somewhere.
would have been amazing.
I love that.
All right, people, we did it.
All right.
We did it. Yay.
So much
42
did it.
minutes
Yay!
in.
All right, if you want to email us at halfhourhappyhourfans@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter, halfhourhappyhr. Please subscribe to us on whatever you listen to us on, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. What was the other thing? Spotify. Woo! Sometimes you have to search us with the in front.
Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you don't. So just you can find us, whatever.
Sometimes you feel like
Sometimes you don't. Half Hour Happy Hour has the... Tom does not.
By the way, first off, thanks for adding me to the title.
Hey!
I saw
Are you
that on the
officially
picture.
added?
I saw it on the picture.
Oh,
yeah. so
yay! I was wondering if that was going to happen.
Now I
Because
exist.
it's been a couple
I'm real.
episodes.
But you're in parentheses, right?
Now you're a real boy, Tom.
Yes, Allison. In parentheses.
We'll remove the parentheses in another 3 years.
Yeah, no,
Throw
the
this
200
can at you.
episodes.
Yeah. 400th episode, we'll remove the parens.
All right, that's it for this week's episode of the Half Hour Happy Hour with Alison and Alex. I'm Alison Haislip.
I'm Alex Albrecht. Sitting
And-
in with us as always,
Tom in parentheses.
Tom in parentheses.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.